Here's more wrestling news for January 11th, 2023, and we're starting off with Mandy Rose, as this week will mark a month since her release from WWE, as NXT higher-ups felt they had no choice but to cut her due to her website. While Rose has been active on her website since her release, she hadn't addressed her departure from WWE, but has now spoken out about what went down. Rose showed up to the Tamron Hall show, but didn't come alone, as she was there with her family, who showed their support in Mandy's first post-WWE interview. Speaking on Tamron Hall's daytime talk show, Rose addressed her time with WWE, saying she will forever be grateful for the opportunities she had. "I can't even say I was wronged because I am so forever grateful for everything the WWE has presented me with, so I can't sit here and say that I was wronged or not." Rose may be able to focus on the positives of her WWE career, but her being grateful doesn't make losing her job any easier, as she explained. "I'm hurt, yes, 100% I'm hurt, I'm very hurt, because no one wants to get that call that you're being fired from any job, right? So I was very hurt and I was very disappointed. I was disappointed so much more because of everything that I put into that business in just the last year and a half." It has been reported that WWE could work with Rose again, but for now, her time with the company is over, and the fortune she's amassed can't make up for the mixed emotions she's been dealing with since her release. WWE felt they had no other option but to release Rose from her deal, but that's not the way the Toxic Attraction member sees things. Speaking about the photos and videos shared on her website, Rose said she didn't see it as big of a problem as WWE did, noting, "Whether it be my photo shoots, my everyday personal life, nothing is wrong with that, and that's what I was doing." Of course, what Rose was posting was certainly not to WWE's PG rating, but it isn't like any of the photos she shared to paying subscribers were shown on WWE programming. Rose noted that when she was told she'd be losing the NXT Women's Championship, she was told it wasn't related to her website, and said she would consider a conversation with WWE about taking it down if it meant a return. For now, Mandy Rose's website remains up, and the former women's champion has amassed a fortune with her content. But do you think she was doing nothing wrong? Or is WWE right in all of this? Let us know in the comments. After Rose's departure from WWE, reports came out about her situation and whether WWE even spoke to her about what happened. Many believed that WWE immediately fired her without even giving her a chance to make things right, but that reportedly isn't how things went down. On her appearance on the show, Rose said that there was a confidentiality clause, meaning she can't talk too much about her release itself, but that there was one warning to take the content down. Interestingly, Rose added that she immediately complied with this order, but that ultimately didn't stop higher-ups including Shawn Michaels and Matt Bloom from parting ways with her. Rose is serving a 90-day non-compete clause, but that hasn't stopped her from putting new content on her website. And given that Rose was willing to take her site down after WWE's warning, it's entirely possible that she could be back one day. Now, last year, Major League Wrestling filed a lawsuit against WWE, arguing that the much bigger promotion had interfered with their business. MLW has claimed that WWE essentially forced Vice TV and Tubi to renege on their plans to air MLW content, and that the WWE has an unfair monopoly on the market. In a bizarre twist, WWE have praised the success of AEW and Tony Khan as a sign that they don't have a monopoly on wrestling in the US, and now Vince McMahon's company is going one step further in this lawsuit. PW Insider reports that on January 5th, WWE filed a claim seeking a protective order to suspend discovery in the lawsuit. Discovery is when both parties give the other side as much relevant information to a case, and the fact that WWE is against this idea sure doesn't make them seem innocent. WWE is further arguing that the court should grant their request because it is uncertain as to whether this specific court holds jurisdiction over this case, and until that can be proven, neither side should give the other anything. WWE filed their claim with the United States District Court, Northern District of California, and a hearing is set for May, and we'll keep following this legal battle of David versus Goliath. As we know, WWE have their hands full right now behind the scenes, with many changes being made, but there is still a company to run and a roster to grow. Last month, Dragon Lee announced that he has signed to WWE, and it was earlier this week that New Japan alum Carl Fredericks reportedly signed a deal to join NXT. Now, one of New Japan's biggest stars may be WWE bound, as Fightful Select has learned that Switchblade Jay White's contract with New Japan is up soon, and he is expected to be leaving. Sources told Fightful that both WWE and AEW are interested in signing the former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, who only lost the title last week at Wrestle Kingdom. While both companies are interested in White, sources within WWE seemed very confident that he would sign with them, but Fightful Select noted that this response shouldn't be seen as an official indicator from the WWE. While it is expected that White will leave, Switchblade is still with New Japan and could stay after all, but if he doesn't, then the wrestling market will have one incredibly valuable free agent. Now, this week has seen major moves in WWE, with the company not only being sold to Saudi Arabia, but Vince McMahon returning to being the chairman of the board. McMahon has taken over the role from his own daughter Stephanie, but the new chairman's ambitions may be too big to just stay backstage. That's according to Zero News, who report that according to a source of them, McMahon will be appearing at the Royal Rumble. Not only is McMahon expected to appear, but Zero adds that WWE themselves will announce his appearance ahead of time, but there is no confirmation as to what he will do. It's likely that McMahon will merely welcome fans to the show, just as he did when the first Wall Street Journal articles came out, but we imagine he won't be getting a warm reception. Hopefully McMahon won't be competing in the Men's Rumble match, a bout he did controversially win in 1999, but if we learned one thing over the past 2 weeks, it's that seemingly nothing can stop Vince McMahon from getting what he wants. Last July, Ric Flair had what was promoted as his final ever match, which saw the Nature Boy team with Andrade El Idolo to defeat Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Despite the show being advertised as his final match, Flair has teased returning to the ring, but now the dirtiest player in the game has stopped being subtle. Speaking on his To Be the Man podcast, Flair openly addressed the shortcomings in his match and is looking for a do-over. "I'm begging to do it again. I'm begging because I've told 100 people, how do I forget to drink water all day long? That's all that happened to me. You saw me. I drank 5 beers right after. I just know that I could have been golden. You know, I just happened to be dehydrated. I don't know how I could have made that mistake." At 73 years old, Flair was hardly the athletically gifted star who impressed fans for decades, and his match has been considered as okay at the very best, if not plain bad. Whether Flair gets a second chance at a final match, time will tell, but as Flair gets older, the window for this second final hurrah will only be getting smaller and smaller. And we're ending today with WWE NXT, as last night was the show's New Year's Evil special and was headlined by a highly emotional match for the NXT Championship. For weeks, Grayson Waller had done all he could to get in the head of Braun Breaker, and the two pushed each other to the limit. In fact, the two pushed the ring itself beyond the limit, as at one point, Waller pushed Breaker into the second ring rope, causing it to break upon impact. Waller, clearly confused, hesitated for a moment before resuming his offense, but later in the match, another rope would snap, causing Waller to fall out of the ring. After the fall, Waller was unable to make the referee's 10 count, leading to Breaker retaining his title and an unhappy audience in Florida. Fans chanted at the finish, believing it wasn't how such an important title match should go down, and on Twitter, Shawn Michaels said he's on it, and later announced a steel cage match at Vengeance Day between the two. After winning the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge at NXT Deadline, many felt like Waller's time to become the NXT champion was now, and though it could still come, this week just wasn't meant to be for the Australian superstar.